Hi, it's Chris at the Quilter's Nook, and we are back for another technique using the Studio 180 V-Block tool. And this one is called the Sidekick and High-Low. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. You have to make one part to make the other part. So let me show you how this works. This is the unit that we're going to make. This is called a sidekick. And you can have a sidekick where it's kicked off on the left side, or you could flip it so that your sidekick kicks off on the right side. But for today, we are going to do the left side. This is going to start with squares. So we just cut a 5-inch square, 4-inch finished block. Cut my 5-inch square, and we have to cut this part away, okay? So just like we did with the V-block when we started out, we're going to use the dashed line against the edge of our fabric, the 4-inch finish line at the bottom, and it goes clear up to the top. This is going to give us our little cutaway. This is trash. And then when we do our triangle, I'll get the words out, we are going to do it the same way we did our side triangles. Okay, we're going to set it up here with the solid line for the side triangle with the 4-inch finished unit. We're going to cut it away, and you're going to end up with this unit right here. Okay, so this is what we have. Simple little unit. And this time we are going to set it up to sew so that you have, the goal is to have 1/4 of an inch. So you want your sewing to start at this notch and end at this notch. Okay, that's the goal, so that we can kind of keep this as square as possible. So we're going to just sew right across there. Press, we've cut that, we've sewed it, we've pressed it, and see how it's pretty much lined up top and bottom. Nothing's hanging out one way or the other. So now we are going to trim him up. So just like the V-block, we're going to put, this would be the point if we'd had another section here, right? So we're going to put it so that our triangle is on the left-hand side. And we're going to take our 4-inch line. Okay, remember last time we had a 4-inch spot right there. We're just going to put that right along the edge. Make sure we have something to trim all the way around. And we're going to cut. We're going to turn him around. We're going to line up our 4.5-inch cleanup line, and you'll see there's a little line right here, and that part of that X that we used on the V-block goes right along our seam. And there you have a nice sidekick unit. Now, there's another part to this technique, and it's called the high-low. When we do the high-low, it's going to look like this. So you've got the high side that we just did, and we're going to add the low side. Okay? To do this, we are going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to take our 5-inch square, and we're going to use our corner triangle. We're going to set him on there and sew him up, all right? Just like we did before. But we're not going to trim him yet. So what we're going to do is take a little square, and your chart tells you what size to make that square. And we are going to draw on the back of it, corner to corner. So I'm just going to use my V-block tool. Anything will work. And we're put our sewing line there. And we're going to set this up so that we're matching the edges of our base triangle, not this one. So if this is a little bit off, we're not going to worry about it. We're going to line it up based on our square. And you can see the line is going to go across just like it is here, right? You're going to sew on that line. You're going to trim off this extra. If you're a saver, you can save that, I suppose. I'm not a saver. So once you sew that on and you press, then you have this unit, and it needs to be trimmed up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the point toward us, and we're going to line up this diagonal here. We're going to put that 4 right at the intersection of our two pieces. See that? Seam goes along that line, and we're going to trim up and across. Turn it around, line up our 4.5 with the outside edge, and you see our little X is right there at our tip, exactly where we wanted it to be the first time around when we did our V block. Trim up and across, and you have a nice high-low unit. This is a fun one. I have one quilt that I've done. I don't have a pattern with me right now, but I do have a quilt. So here is my high-low unit, and you can see, let me pull it out here, there we go. You can see what a neat star that makes with that high side and the low side, and put a pinwheel in the center, and you've got a neat little star. So this is a fun little block to do. This is a technique. This is your high-low. All right, next time we will have another new tool for you. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.